From the East Brunswick Jewish Center, I'm Rabbi Jeff Pivo. How do we express our feeling that someone or something is worthy of our respect? Among other things, we might stand for such a person or such a thing. If Queen Elizabeth were to visit EBJC, and I'm not making any promises, we would rise from our seats whenever the Queen was present, despite the fact that our country broke away from England and its monarchy hundreds of years ago. Why? Because she's the Queen. Even though she's not our Queen, and even though the idea of the monarchy strikes some Americans and even some of the British as obsolete or even ridiculous, despite everything, we would stand. Similarly, the custom of standing before the sacred in Judaism derives from the impulse to acknowledge what is most important and what's most worthy of our respect. There are just two sections in the Torah for which we rise when they are read publicly. The Song of the Sea in Parshat B'Shalach last week, and this week in Parshat Yitro, Aseret HaDibrot, the Ten Commandments. These two passages deserve our standing because they define who we are. The Song of the Sea last week was the moment when our ancestors finally and definitively were set free from slavery in Egypt, when God's might led them out of bondage and destroyed Egypt's chariots in the Sea of Reeds. Its importance as a memory of redemption is evident from the fact that we recite it each morning in daily prayer. And this week in Yitro, we stand again, this time for Aseret HaDibrot. If the Song of the Sea marks our emergence as a distinct nation, shaped by both ethnic affinity and the shared pain of slavery and the joy of redemption, then Aseret HaDibrot marks our transformation into a Jewish nation. What makes Jews different from other people is our acceptance of God's Torah at Mount Sinai. Torah is the covenant that we entered into with God, the price that we gladly paid and continue to gladly pay for being redeemed from slavery. Those two themes, redemption and revelation, shape the Jewish character more than any other theme. Even when we doubt our commitment to every one of the Torah's details, even when we doubt the veracity of the text itself, we recognize the momentousness of that day, and despite everything, we stand. In doing so, we recall the original revelation, standing as our ancestors did at Sinai, expectantly. But we also reinvest ourselves in that revelation and in that relationship to God for ourselves, as revelation was not a one-time event. In every era, we must rediscover God's will anew for our own time. From all of us at the East Brunswick Jewish Center, a Shabbat Shalom.